Hey everyone, I'm Katie Daryl, and today we are at home and social with Robert DeLeo, founding member of Stone Temple Pilots and their bassist. How are you?
I'm a little cold this morning, but like always in my place, but I'm good.
Icicle toes, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, good news. You're not going to be cold for long because coming up in May, you will be hitting beach life and it is going to be toasty and awesome, I'm sure.
Yes. Great. Honored to do it.
Yeah, so Beach Life is this really fun festival. It takes place in Southern California. It's kicking off this year, May 13th through 15th. A lot of great bands on the bill, by the way. But Stone Temple Pilots, I mean, playing in Southern California has got to feel great for you guys.
It feels great. Alan Sanford, who puts it on, texted me and asked if we wanted to do it, and I was completely honored. He's actually a neighbor of mine, so so
nepotism got you hired then.
So it was yeah, we're really honored to do it. We're gonna have a great time. It's a great venue down there. It's right on the water and we're down to a beach. It's great, and it's gonna be really nice.
I mean, playing shows like Beach Life here, with Stone Temple Pilots, 30 years after your debut album. How does your stage vibe differ then from now? I imagine you take things a lot less seriously or take yourself less seriously.
Well, those songs still hit me the way they did when I wrote them. So it's still so great to be on stage. It's a form of having. I was talking to Jay Buchanan from Rival Sons about this, and we haven't done it in so long because of pandemic, and we kind of lost a bit of our superpowers, so to speak, being on stage and playing in front of. It's such an honor to do that, to play in front of thousands of people. So it still hits me the same way it did when I was 30 years ago. I shaved this morning so I didn't look 30 years older. So it just hits me the same way. It's great to be on stage. Love playing those songs still.
I mean, and you mentioned, I mean, playing in front of thing along with you, that is the definition of the rock star life. Do you get the rock star vibes? I mean, listen, actors, Academy Award actors all are starting bands because they still want to be a rock star or a fireman, right? Those are your childhood dreams. So do you still get those vibes yourself?
Well, I never really dreamt of being a rock star. I really wanted to write songs, the best songs possible. And I think that's really what gives a band longevity is the songs that they wrote. And I'm proud of those songs that we wrote. And I think that's really the people I look up to are the people who wrote great songs. They weren't necessarily rock stars. They were in music. And that's kind of what I still try to do, is write the best songs possible.
And you do write the songs. I mean, you do a majority of the writing for Stone Temple Pilots. You do this on an acoustic guitar, correct?
That's a Barry Manilow song, isn't it? I write the songs.
Yeah.
Actually, Bruce from the Beach Boys wrote that. So
there you have it. But you do this. You have an acoustic that you write on.
I do. I have several acoustics that just, whatever is influencing me or inspiring me at the time, I'll get on it. And if it speaks to me, it's, they're good friends, those instruments. They're really good friends. They listen to me.
For those of you just joining us, I'm Katie Daryl. He is Robert DeLeo of Stone Temple Pilots. You play bass for the band. You write the music for the band, but your brother is also in the band and he's the guitarist. How did that work out, that you write on a guitar, but then you're like, but you get to play the guitar and I'm going to grab the bass guitar?
Oh, well, a little of that, but I mean, it's such a great honor to be in the band with my brother. We think so much alike, and he's a writer as well as me. We kind of share the writing together, and it's worked.
Yeah, it definitely has. This year, 2022, marks the 30-year anniversary of Stone Temple Pilots' debut album, Core. This is a good one.
Yikes.
This is an album, and listen, I've worn this album out, and I am a true fan. This is my high school years, so you are burned into my brain. Wow. Thank you.
Wow.
And it gives me the feels. What music gives you those feels, right? I mean, when I was just putting on songs this morning, every single one of them, I was like, oh, that one's so good. Ah, F
Yeah.
that. It's so good. What music does that for you?
Um, Stuff that you is not rock and roll. Kind of the records that I grew up on younger through the 70s, that, you know, my sisters and my brothers and my mom were listening to. I mean, that's what's dear to my heart. I really love jazz. Jazz is a big thing. It hit me at an early age
Mm-hmm.
before rock and roll did. Not that rock and roll didn't, but rock and roll lets you kind of get your yayas out, I should say. Just it's a form of, you know, getting something out of you. And that's what I always looked at it as far as listening and having something put into my ears. It's mostly jazz for some reason.
All right. But when you were in high school, were you dropping the needle on jazz records when your friends came over? Or was there a band that you were like, hey, check out,
I was listening to
Flaming Lips?
a lot of Rush and prog rock and
Okay.
Yes and the Beatles. I was listening, and this is what I say to people. If, you know, people ask me how to write songs, you know, writing songs is about being a good listener. It's about picking up on all different kinds of music, whether it be bossa nova, whether it be the Beatles, whether it be country. And I digested everything I could. That's what music means to me.
So here we are back in 1992, right? The debut album for Stone Temple Pilots, Core, comes out. There's a lot of great music on the airwaves that, you know, you guys push forward what is now called alt rock, right? And the grunge sound and even the Seattle sound. Now, here's the thing. Obviously, STP, not from Seattle. How is it that there was this generation of musicians that all had this vibe yet coming out of different cities? I mean, you know, there's that Seattle, people could, if we had told everyone that you were from Seattle, everyone would have been like, yeah, okay, cool, I believe it. But you weren't, and yet different locations, similar vibes and feelings coming out of a generation.
Well, you know, Dean and I played in a cover band in 1982, so we were playing covers, and I think it was timing. I think also you know, we got signed to Atlantic Records, and it was a chance for them to, it is, and I think it was an opportunity for record companies to market something, and it became something that really came from a pure place for all artists, and you really have no control over how these people are going to market what you do. And it became this, I mean, I never really gave into any of that. We were just making music, and I'm sure if you asked other bands at the time.
And Social with Robert DeLeo of Stone Temple Pilots, you're gearing up to head out on tour. Australia, mate.
I know, for the third time. The last two times were canceled. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully we don't get down there. We get down there and it's not you know, canceled and everything. But we're looking forward to it. It's been a while.
What is the demand for STP like down in Australia? I mean, you know, there's bands that are always like, oh, we're huge in Germany, right? Like, is Australia like bonkers for you, or what's the vibe from those fans?
I don't know, but I enjoy going down there. It's very similar to California, and everyone's so nice down there. It's a great place to visit and play, and everyone is appreciative of music. That's what's great about it.
At this day and age in your career, do you get time to be a tourist and enjoy the different places you go? Because I know back in the day, a lot of labels would have you turning and burning really fast, and you would barely know where you were waking up.
Yeah, as much as possible. I'd like to see as much as possible. And when we were down there, as much as time will allow.
We have a great mutual friend, I think, although the friend of every rock band, Mr. Matt Pinfield. Yeah. And Matt Pinfield loves to tell the story of how the band basically kind of got formed because you and Scott were dating the same girl. Is this a story he's made up and that is just on Wikipedia now, or is this absolutely true?
Lies, oh lies, oh lies. No, it's something like that. It morphed into something like that. But that's how Scott and I became friends, through a mutual female.
Was there a rivalry at the beginning, a little peacocking, if you will?
Or? No. It was like, hey, it was kind of like the discovery of, oh, really? So, yeah.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah.
So STP has had a couple of different singers for the band. Obviously, we started out with Scott, an amazing baritone vocalist.
Yes.
And then Chester Bennington of Linkin Park fame joined the trifecta. I'd like to kind of talk and maybe use a couple of adjectives to describe the different moods and formations of the band. So let's start with the time with Scott. What did the band feel like when it was you guys starting out and Scott was the singer?
It was one of the most exciting times of my life, of all our lives. And like I said, when you go in to make your first record, you don't know what it's going to do and how people are going to react to it. But we knew how we felt and how it made us feel, and the excitement of that first record core was amazing feeling. And we were all on the same page. Yeah.
And you guys won a Grammy.
We did. Yeah.
That's pretty rad to have. I mean, because I believe, you've had about 50 million albums sold, about 50 million. But then to get awards on top of it, kind of gives you that industry recognition, right?
I think so. I mean, it's one of those things, again, I really wasn't out to win awards, but if they're going to give them out, it's quite an honor. It is an honor. And I don't take that lightly.
Let's talk about the time when Chester Bennington was singing with STP.
Yes. Chester, I really miss him also. And that was a lot of fun. It was something that he grew up listening to, our music, and he was really excited about just doing it. And it was just something that was fun for all of us. And he was just a great person to be around all the time too. I miss him.
It's unfortunate that the band has had experienced so much loss with both Scott and Chester. That's not fair.
No, it's not. It's not fair for any of their families.
Yeah. Families, friends, fans, because the fans feel like you guys are our family, right? You're our guys. We wake up to you. You're okay, Google, play Stone Temple Pilot, and you hear these voices and you hear these solos and these drum beats, and we feel like it's ours. So
the beauty of music.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
But STP is kicking it, and you have a great new singer, Jeff. Tell us about Jeff.
He's usually the first one there.
Responsible.
Which is like, singer showing up on time, even early, is like, wow. Jeff's a great guy, great person, singing his ass off and really in the moment. And that's all I could ask for, is someone who's in the moment and appreciating what we're doing.
There's songs that people fell in love with STP. So when we hear Vaseline or we hear Creep or Interstate Love Song, is Jeff doing Jeff or is Jeff doing Scott?
I think Jeff is doing his version. It's a hard situation and position to move into.
Yeah.
And I think the first thing, and I'm not speaking for him, but I think what I observe is he's trying to honor those songs. And part of honoring those songs is putting into what the original intention of that song was, but doing it your way. That's what Jeff is doing.
That's awesome. For those of you just joining us, we are at home and social with STP's, Stone Temple Pilots' very own Robert DeLeo. The band is going to be performing at Beach Life May 13th through 15th is the whole festival weekend. You'll be headlining one of those days. You're heading out to Australia. And I have a feeling something is up your sleeve. I've been spying your Instagram account, and I feel like there's something brewing. Is there solo music on the horizon? Is there new Stone Temple Pilot jams coming? What's up, man?
There's new solo stuff that it's been a long time coming. I through this pandemic, there's been a lot of time and a lot of free time. And I mentioned before, it gave me a chance to pick up all my acoustic instruments and kind of talk to them a little bit and see what they have to say back. And before I knew it, I had a bunch of songs together of my own, acoustic bass songs.
Mm-hmm.
And I had some friends of mine who are very talented do some vocal stuff. So I have different vocalists, great, very talented people helping me out with this. So,
I mean, I'm not going to force you to name names, although if you want to, you can, but are they names that we would recognize and get really excited about?
you know, I'm going to keep that secretly right now. I'm going to keep that a secret, but you know, I'm about 10 songs out of 12 done, and hopefully later this year and present that, and really excited about that. I'm playing guitar and bass and sang one song and kind of laid it all out on my own and using different instruments that I have, and it's been really therapeutic.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I need to clarify something else on your Instagram.
Yes.
It says that you are a lover of fish, meaning do you have fish tanks and you collect fish, or do you like to eat them?
No, you know, I like to, I've been fishing since I was young. It was one of the first things that I really took a love to. And I never grew out of that. It's kind of like riding a bike. And fishing for me, it gives you a chance to get outside. Mm-hmm. I love the outdoors. The outdoors are my church, and I love being outside, and I just never grew out of fishing. I don't eat the fish. I catch and release the fish. Yeah. And it's more of a being in the outdoors, whether it be, you know, Montana or Idaho or California or back east. I do have a fishing pole in my road case when I travel. So
really?
Yes. So it's been a great journey to go out and visit places that are beautiful and cast a line in.
There is this new festival that's coming up. It's called the When We Were Young Festival, and everyone's getting really excited about it because it's a you know, a lot of these you know, like Avril Lavigne type bands.
Yeah.
If you had to put together a lineup of my favorite 90s bands, the bands that were surrounding you when you guys were first coming out of the gates in 92 and 94 for Stone Temple Pilots, who would you put on your lineup?
I don't know that because most of the singers are gone.
Well, that's true. That's true.
That's the thing, is
you were part of a weird generation of bands.
Great ones are gone. And I don't know if I could put that together, honestly.
Yeah. No, that's true. It's very, very valid. The 90s bands, we've lost so many, yet Mick Jagger's still hanging on there, man, right?
God bless him.
I love that. Robert, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. If anyone wants to stalk you in person, they can go and see the tour in Australia, or make it really simple and head down to Beach Life in May. Stone Temple Pilots will be performing, and obviously we can follow your Instagram and we'll see some of the cool shots and stuff that you do down in Australia, I hope.
Thank you, Katie. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, stay safe, and I will talk to you soon.
Have a great day. Thank you so much.
Hey there, thanks for watching Access TV. Subscribe, follow, like, and do all the good stuff. And make sure you leave a comment below. I don't know, just let us know what your favorite Access TV show is, or who your favorite bands are, and what artists you're into, or just say hi, man. I'd like to be told hi. We love hearing from you. That's the point, all right? Keep it coming.